When we think about reminiscing, what is it that makes it feel so good?
So I think it takes us to a place, it kind of detaches us from where we are, because where we are may be somewhere where it's just like a lot of stress. It could be a lot of things going on in present time. So sometimes reminiscing just gives us that sense of nostalgia and peace.
I would say for the good moments is just to remind you of that time period in your life, those people that you were hanging out with, those moments that you shared. And I guess in the negative way is also to remind you too, like, hey, don't forget how this particular situation happened.
I'm Simeon Pando.
Victoria Monet.
Dang. I'm Melvin Gregg.
This is another episode of Nice and Neat.
I'm Duke.
I'm Omar. I'm Jalon.
Welcome back to another episode. Oh, okay. Yeah, shit. You know what? I was reading some comments earlier today on our YouTube, and somebody wrote us and was like, "Man, I really miss the intro." And to be honest, I felt that. I really did.
He said that too. He said
that. He did say that.
I did feel that. And I know it's a little out of the ordinary, but I want to bring it back for us. So, we're just going to...
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're just going to let it rock out. Get real nostalgic around here. You know what I mean?
Nice and neat.
Wrist are going to get the bands. Ooh. Sit and go and make the plan. Hold on, couple time. Hey, oh, yeah. I'ma pull up on the phone in a fucking white sand. This fucking mic stand. If it's been done before, then I know I can.
Hey,
I'm on a rider trying to keep a level head. She begging me to give me head. Yeah.
wow. Let's give it up.
Yo, what's the deal, y'all? I hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalon, and this is another episode of the #1 podcast in all of Los Angeles, Nice and Neat. As you can see, we are nice and neat today. Thanks for the intro. Really appreciate that.
Yeah,
it felt good.
felt good.
Took us on back.
Yeah.
It's good to go back sometime, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's good to go back. It's good to reminisce. It's good to, matter of fact, speaking of reminiscing, man, like when we think about reminiscing, what is it that makes it feel so good about actually being able to kind of go back to a place and remember a moment and you can actually feel what you felt? Like, how is it? I wonder why God gave us that.
Memory?
Nah, just to reminisce and be like, man, that song made me feel this.
Well, in that situation, I guess just to recreate that feeling. You know what I mean? Just to take us back to that place. But that could also lead you down to a bad place too. It's not always positive.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I would say for the good moments is just to remind you of that time period in your life, those people that you were hanging out with, those moments that you shared. Right. And I guess in the negative way is also to remind you too, like, hey, don't forget how this particular situation happened. But reminiscing is good, man, especially walking down memory lane of good memories. You know what I mean? Just walk down memory lane of us starting a podcast.
Man.
Yeah. Reminiscing is good because you get so far removed from just the feeling of a particular time. You spend so much time just detached, and you just, life goes on. You just think about a bunch of other things. And you're like, oh, I forgot that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you start flipping through stuff. Have you ever been just going through your phone and then maybe you're looking for some content and you're trying to look for old content, you're going back and you stumble across some like, damn, man, we look young.
Yep.
Or I remember this time.
Yep.
Or remember this. So I think it takes us to a place, it kind of detaches us from where we are, because where we are may be somewhere where it's just like a lot of stress. It could be a lot of things going on in present time. So sometimes reminiscing just gives us that sense of nostalgia and peace and just that feeling of, man, I remember how that felt. And that could come through a lot of things. That songs.
Yep. Usually be the
songs.
I feel like songs take you back to the place and the moment precisely.
Yeah.
You hear a song, you be like, damn.
Yeah. You're really good at putting the song with the year. You're really good at that.
That was a good year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You be like, I remember this was like 90 or 2001. You're really good at that.
Music be making a big impact in my life.
Yeah.
I be using certain tracks for the soundtrack of my life. whether it be to motivate me, inspire me, keep me locked in, you know what I mean, or keep me dreaming, you know. So that I love what music does. That I love when you hear a song and you're
Okay.
like, damn.
Okay, let's talk about music. Hey, did y'all see that Nelly said it was the most competitive time in hip hop in the early 2000s?
Nah, I didn't see that.
Nelly was on
Back like when he dropped Country Grammar.
Nelly was on The Shop, and he was talking about how when he was coming up, it was the most competitive time in hip hop because he was competing against DMX,
Eminem, Jay-Z.
Eminem, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, all them guys, and he was like, "Yo, it's way different now."
Would we say Lil Wayne was in there?
Yeah,
Nah,
that's
he
what he
wasn't even
said.
in that list though.
But he said that.
Oh yeah, nah.
He included him. I don't say that, but he included him.
I think Nelly bigged up.
Ludacris. He said Ludacris.
Ludacris is definitely.
Ludacris was.
He said Ludacris.
Definitely.
Ludacris was. I would put Lil Wayne with Kanye. I mean, Jay-Z's in there too. Kanye, T.I.
Nah, they said T.I. was in that, but I would call it a T.I. I would put Lil.
Yeah, I would
T.Y.
put him in the right after. Like, cause early 2000.
Ja Rule,
Yeah, 50 Cent.
50 Cent. He
You know
said
what?
that.
The thing about that time that I feel like is different from now is that everyone had unique individual sounds.
Yeah.
Where it's supposed to right now, I mean, I'm not knocking nobody who's creating music, but there's a lot of music that's sounding redundant, and possibly because that's what's selling records.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But like back then, DMX sound completely different than Nelly.
Okay.
Nelly sound completely different from Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Jay-Z sound completely different than 50. Like these are all.
I got a hot take
everybody
on
had
that.
unique styles.
I got a hot take on that.
Talk to me.
So I think sometimes you have somebody who's great. They are great, but they're also considered a disruptor as well, right? So Steph Curry's great, but he's an NBA disruptor. The way that he shoots the ball, it wasn't normal, and now people started shooting the ball like that. Stats change, the game changed. Now instead of let's make sure we go down there and we get a bucket, we'll make the clock. It's like if we could get 3-pointers up within 30 seconds, our likelihood of scoring 6 points is higher than trying to do it in 3 possessions at 24 seconds a piece, right? That disruptor for me in hip hop is Drake. I'm gonna tell you why. You said that Nelly had a sound.
Yeah.
He had a specific regional sound.
Yep.
Jay-Z had a sound.
Yep.
He had a regional sound. And I feel like hip hop is hip hop because it was like, I'm telling a story about how I grew up where I'm from. Drake was the first person that didn't have to stick to where he was from and give us his sound. So if he wanted to give us a Louisiana bounce, he could give us the New Orleans bounce. If he wanted to give us a LA verse, he could give us a LA verse. If he wanted to hang with the cats from Atlanta, he could give us that.
Yep.
And he didn't have to stick to a sound. So people was like, "Oh, this is working.
I'm
Oh well, let's collab. I'll do whatever." So I feel like Drake was the disruptor in that space
To get it to where it is now.
to get it where it is now.
to where things could be sounding similar.
Yeah.
Or like.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go ask if Drake is a basketball player, who is he?
If Drake is a basketball player.
If Jay-Z is Jordan, I feel like that's
Okay. Not the game, just the position. Just like the status.
exactly.
Joker.
No.
I think
Joker not higher enough on the hierarchy. Nah, not in comparison.
saying because he could do everything.
I'm saying because he could do everything.
That's what
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's the only reason why I'm saying Joker.
Well, I'm saying we're not talking about skill set.
Yeah,
we're talking
nah.
about just what position would you fall under. Because
Oh,
if
I
you're
got
saying
you,
Jay-Z is Jordan,
I got you.
right? If you say Jay-Z is Jordan,
I'm gonna say Drake and Steph.
Drake is Steph.
I'm gonna say Drake and Steph.
So who's LeBron?
That's good. Who is LeBron?
Call.
Okay, I really don't want to. I want to switch gears because I had a thought. I don't want to forget.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, give me your top 5 most popular basketball players of all time.
Popular.
Most popular basketball players of all time.
The world knows these people.
Top 5.
Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal. Man, something in my spirit want to say Dennis Rodman.
Something in my spirit saying Dennis Rodman.
And
You said Kobe Bryant.
Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal,
Okay.
Dennis Rodman. Shaq is like
Crazy.
LeBron James. Excuse me. I'm tripping. LeBron and Steph is more popular than Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, that's what they go 5.
Yeah.
That's my 5 right there.
But you made me lose my thought.
Dennis Rodman was
He was very popular.
I forgot about
He was super polarizing.
Wow.
He was super polarizing. I'll say that. Like when he was in that dress, like the fact, think about to have a viral moment in the 90s literally means the entire world seen it.
It's on all the outlets, newspapers.
But he was in a dress. He got married in a dress, a wedding dress.
That was
a
on
woman.
papers.
To a woman.
Was Carmen Electra a Playboy at the time?
Pam Anderson?
Nah,
I know he was with.
He married Carmen Electra. Wait,
Did he
he
marry
married Pamela Anderson?
He married Carmen Electra, but
Carmen Electra.
Pam Anderson was rolling with him too, wasn't she?
Nah, Pam Anderson been with
How
Tommy
did
Lee.
Dennis Rodman
Gotcha.
get? How
Not Tommy Lee.
Yeah, Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
How did he get away with that though?
Who that?
Dennis Rodman, like being who he was.
His play. But you go out there and get 20 and 20.
You think that could fly today?
Nah, I think
In terms of
I
when
think criticism in social
too
media
much.
is way too much today.
it's too much today.
We saw those things from the tabloids.
When we say get away with it, we talking about going to Vegas the night before a game, not wearing a dress,
No,
right?
I'm talking about dress.
Oh, I think a
The
player,
go-
could,
the
I
going
think a
to-
player could get away with that today. I thought you was talking about
Going to Vegas is at his. No, I think players get away with that.
going to Vegas the night before a game, partying, and not like, he was missing stuff too.
Oh, okay. Well,
And they
actually,
just like,
probably
yo,
not.
Dennis got to do what Dennis
it'd
got to
probably-
do.
That was crazy.
It'd probably be too much social pressure that the people put on the teams to be like, nah,
Yes.
like this. Come on, we gotta get rid of this guy. Yeah,
Like, also considering that time, Michael Jordan was smoking cigars in the locker room. Matter of fact, Byron Scott got a story where Michael Jordan, I believe it's Byron Scott, but he got a story where Michael was, when you walk through the hallway, it's like you got the away and you got your home team and you got to walk past the away, and Michael stops, he see it's open, pop his head in, got a cigar. He like, hey, yo, who guarding me tonight? He like, 40, and walks off on him, bruh, and gave him 40. You can't do stuff like that in this day and age. It don't work like that no more. You can't. Jordan was bigger than basketball.
he was bigger than basketball.
Jordan was bigger than basketball. Jordan was worldwide before the NBA was.
So the NBA would have been the NBA if he would have left and went to another league.
No. And he could have did it.
What I'm saying is the other league would have been the NBA.
Yeah. Jordan
That's
could
how
have did
big
that.
Jordan was.
Just off of Jordan alone.
Jordan go to another league, that league is the NBA.
When though? At what point in time in his career?
Oh man, before he won the first championship.
You think so?
Yeah, he was big.
He was big.
He was
really
big time.
big. Have you guys seen Air?
He was big time.
Loved it.
My bad. You guys was making me think. We was talking about reminiscing. I seen something that took me back to like, man, I thank God I'm not young anymore. I don't know if you guys seen this post, but it was a group of people. They went out to dinner. One guy, he was kind of a +1, and it's like 13 people. The majority of them are women, and it's one of the girls' birthdays. And he's kind of observing the scene, everybody ordering. He said one girl, she ordered 3 appetizers. Somebody else ordered 3-4 drinks. And he like, hey, yo, you know what? Let me duck off and pay for my bill before this get a little crazy. I'm assuming he
genius.
probably was wearing Chelsea boots. Those guys are a little bit different. So he ducked off and he paid for his bill, came back, he was comfortable. Bill comes, they say only 2 people could put their cards down, right? He's one of the men that are there. So they like, oh yeah, just give it to him and then we'll cash app you. Right? So he's like, oh nah. And before I could say it, the waiter said, oh, he paid already. Right? So now he cool, he's chilling. And he said his friend, which was a girl that invited him, said that he was wrong for that, right? Everybody at the table was upset with him. As they're going over the bill, he like, you know what? This is not my space no more. He ends up bouncing, right? He bounced. He gets a long text message from his homegirl explaining why he's wrong. He replies back, IDC, right? I don't care. Question to you guys. Y'all out with people. They're not necessarily your people either.
Yeah.
You essentially serving as a +1.
Uh-huh.
You pay your meal and you tip. Right? Are you wrong if you dip out while they discussing the bill?
No, I don't got it.
Nope.
I don't got it. It's simple as that.
Nope.
I don't got it.
And I'm not connected to anybody in here. I'm not dating anybody in here. This is my homegirl and your friends. Like, at what point does the responsibility now fall on me to financially pay for all of you guys?
And I know you didn't invite me here to flex.
I didn't come here for this.
I know you didn't invite me here to flex.
I did not come here for this. Nah, I'm out. That's on y'all.
First of all, I got a wife and kids. First of all, I got a wife and kids. Sorry. Nah, he's not wrong.
So he's not wrong at all.
No, he's not wrong.
Nah, he's not wrong.
He I feel like he did the right thing. Because if he didn't act as swiftly as he did, he would have been stuck with that. Or
It would have been more
stuck with it.
it
complicated.
would have been more complicated. He would have
Yeah.
been stuck with it, but it would have been more
Because
complicated.
he couldn't have got up at that point and be like, let me just pay for mine.
No.
Because there's two bills for the table. See?
Yeah.
Okay, now man, have you guys ever done that?
Pay for what?
Just you saying like, hey yo, this is a little chaotic in here. Let me go duck off and pay for my bill.
Hey, bring my bill separately.
Yeah, I've never ducked off to go pay
Yeah,
for the
bring
bill.
my bill separately.
But one of my biggest things, and this is through learning experiences, is bringing cash to group dinners. You know, I don't have a card to put down.
This what you gonna get.
This is what I got.
And this what I ordered. I could
Matt, no, on top, fuck all that. Here's what I got, and this is more than what I ordered.
For sure. It's always like that.
This is more than what I ordered.
My
So
shit say 110. Here's 200.
here goes 200. Here goes 200. I took care of tax and somebody else's
Yep.
entree
and your tip.
and my tips.
And my tip.
Okay, cool. So
Like-
that actually leads
Yeah,
me
for
to the
sure.
next point. So tipping culture, people in America feel like tipping culture is kind of get out of hand. You
It
guys,
has.
you do a lot of traveling, so you go places and tipping is not required at a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
Here at America, they feel like restaurant owners are trying to leverage their patrons to support income for their employees by forcing people into tipping
Yep.
a certain amount.
So they don't have to pay.
So they don't have to pay them a certain amount.
They cut costs.
Exactly. So if I can be like, hey, yo, you know what? I'll pay you $15 an hour, but everybody tips 20%. We can guarantee you're getting a 20% tip from every single table, right? Which you might not want to. You maybe because for me, I'm a 20% guy. I also
Same.
have worked in the service industry, so I'm a 20% guy no matter what. Really,
Right.
the service will have to be extremely dismal for me to say
Yep.
anything
Right.
less.
Yep.
Right, but some people are service based, so they start at, we'll call it 12%, and they'll work their way up based off of the service. And if you get enforced in, are you a 20% tipper?
No.
Okay, perfect.
Service based.
Service based.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you get forced into a 20% tip, how does that make you feel?
If I get forced, I don't ever feel like I could be forced into a tip.
Sometimes
I don't think I've ever felt forced into a tip. How does somebody force you into a tip?
they incorporated. It's this
And
thing
gratuity?
called gratuity.
Oh, you talking about? Okay,
That
I'm tripping.
incorporate-
Forced into a
It's
tip.
thing called gratuity.
That's you don't have no option though. That's different. Like
That's what he's talking about.
yeah,
That's,
you don't
that's
have
what he's
no
talking about.
option.
Being
Yeah,
forced.
so then I don't have an option. Then it's just like that's just the bill. I just look at it. That's just the bill.
Got you. So they got you too.
Yeah, I just look at the bill. Take that.
They got
Take
you.
that bill. Yeah,
Because-
you can't do nothing about that.
Nah.
Nah, you just gotta pay that.
But what I'm saying is to find that out after the bill comes, that doesn't make you feel like, dang, bruh, I didn't feel like this was 20% tip worthy.
Nah, usually, I think those places, it's just assumed.
You think those places are just, they're a certain echelon already. So
I know I've been to enough group dinners that hey, there's gratuity no matter what.
Group dinners are different because once you pass a certain amount of people,
Yeah.
it's getting added.
It's period.
matter what.
It's getting added.
Right, so I don't even
we talking
consider
about
that.
you and Chanel are going on a date and they're forcing you to tip 20%.
Yeah. How do I feel about it?
Yeah,
I don't care.
got you. Would you tip 20%?
If I had the option?
Yeah.
No.
The-
No. I
no,
wouldn't.
depending on based off the service.
Here's the only problem I have. The only problem I have is if you give people options and you complain about what they choose. That's the problem. If you say just take away the option, there's no problem. But if you give people the option to choose 10%, 12, 15, 20, or no tip at all, then like don't be mad when they choose what they choose. That's the only problem. Are we mad at tipping culture? Yeah, tipping culture is overboard. But if the gratuities, I don't even consider that a tip.
That's a part of the meal.
That's just part of the meal. So
I need to make up a big word that give me some extra money. If gratuity gonna do it, seriously.
but I mean, it's outrageous because people expect to be tipped for pickup for just pickup now.
Well, for dropping off the order.
No, I'm picking one in the restaurant to pick it up. You want to pay gratuity?
Oh.
That's a thing.
Oh, not even picking up, bro. If you're just ordering something in the store,
Yeah, bro.
today, bro, it's gonna pop up. How much do you want to tip?
Right.
That shit is too aggressive, bro.
Right. That's the problem. That's the problem.
If I'm not gonna give my leftover 32 cents at the register at Ralph's, it's no way that I'm finna tip at Jamba Juice.
No way.
That don't even make sense to me. To tip somebody who's standing at the register, to me, does not make sense.
You're already getting paid to be there.
Yeah, that don't make
No,
sense.
no, no.
Okay, and why? Okay, so are we tipping people because it's a service job, or because usually people that are working these jobs are getting low wages?
So that is what the catch is. They want us to feel like we're tipping somebody because it's a service job, when in actuality, the owners and the restaurant owners are paying their employees less, telling them that they're going to be getting tipped to compensate the lack of pay they're getting on the front end.
Correct. The only reason tipping is a thing is because they don't get paid enough.
Correct.
Because if you just pay, if the restaurants to say, hey, listen, we're going to take all that out and we're just going to pay you so you can get that 20% every time, no matter what. Why we can't do that?
Well, I think a lot of people take those jobs to be able to rely on the tips.
That's why they, yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
because, 20% is the standard, but I may
Go
get,
up. Maybe 100.
I may be in there and want to give them $100 one day. So that is why people sometimes take those jobs. Like when you see people, like even think about somebody who might, for other people who might work in the club, and it's just like, oh, okay, cool. I get tips. Now, if you're not getting no tips, bro, you're probably not gonna do the job. People do those jobs for the tips. Most people take home more money in tips than they'll take home on their check.
Right.
Like the ballet.
Right?
Why do we dismiss goodness?
They say winning heals all. That's what they say.
Kills all.
Winning heals all. So
Yeah, but I'm winning. You not. I'm the one winning. You not.
yeah.
So like, why do we still look at people that are successful and we use the fact that they're successful and sweep all their character flaws under the rug? Like we know somebody dirty. We would know society. We would know somebody's dirty, but still be like,
Because you said it. You benefiting from it. We know about a lot of dirty individuals that we watch other people benefit from, and you be like, hey, but it's not that bad. And you constantly say that. And then I think people also have the thought process of, if I was in that position, I might do that too. I think people think like that as well. I'm not necessarily referring to the Diddy situation, but I'm just saying people who hold certain positions and participating in negligence. I personally, it's hard for me to relate, and I really think my girl keeps me super grounded in that space because she don't play that shit at all. She don't care who somebody is or what status they hold, what's going on. Wrong is wrong, right is right.
yeah.
And that's just what it is.
You can only get that and have that outlook if you don't idolize people.
Yeah.
If you really are grounded in understanding that everyone is a human being, then you're going to be more likely to see, you're going to be more likely to value character, and not because like I love Jay-Z as an artist, but if he did anything that was just against my belief system, I'll be like, yo, like I didn't fuck with that. I didn't like that.
See, but the thing is this though. I think the level of rope and grace we give people is Jay-Z could do something that you didn't like, and you'd be like, oh, I didn't like that. But then when he comes out with a new album, you're going to listen to it, and then you'll like him again.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody else in the normal realm, you'd be like,
tolerance.
Zero, I didn't like that. I don't like, bro.
I'm off
I don't care. I'm off you. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you put out. I don't care how you move forward. And that's how they get us.
Yeah, and I agree. But I'm talking about, okay, at the very least, right? We're not justifying behavior. We're saying, hey, you was wrong. Hey, so like if you do something wrong, I'm like, hey, you wrong, bro. You wrong. Hey, I ain't like that. He wrong. But at least we know that's wrong. All right. But like, hey, you're still my brother. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So because there's something that I get from you, okay, it's not that I don't value, like, okay, I can't judge you on the same spectrum that I can judge someone that does nothing for me.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? That's just normal behavior.
Do we believe there's a such thing as a general wrong?
Yeah, I think we believe just a general wrong. Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people have an idea of what's wrong and right.
Mm-hmm.
And I ask it
The
because
same idea. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
you know, I always think about Jay-Z in this sense. I know you guys are familiar with the song with him and Frank Ocean called No Church in the Wild,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what Jay-Z is kind of referring to in that song is like, your wrong is your wrong. My wrong might be different than your wrong.
That's how I'm coming, because it's wild out here.
It's wild out here. Yep. However you think, whatever you, bro, you talking to me about God, like, what's a God to a non-believer? Mm-hmm. And when I really, really dissected that song and I thought about it, honestly, I really thought about Jay-Z. Like, I thought about, bro, if you told me when you was young you shot your brother, bro, I'd be like, that's a different kind of dude. Mm-hmm. That's a wild boy. That's a different guy. And so many things moving forward, other things, like, for example, you know, he could look at it like, I needed to do what I needed to do for my career. But as we have this business here, if somebody came to me and they're like, hey, yo, Jelon, you know, you should sell nice and neat. And I came to you guys and y'all was like, nah, I'm not with it. And I figured out a way to be able to sell it and then still become the president of it. People will be like, Jelon, you wrong. But if I kept elevating, they're going to be like, oh, well, he had to do what he had to do, especially if you guys become forgotten.
For sure.
So
it worked out.
When things work out.
It was the right decision.
It was the right decision. And then I think about it's the right decision for who? Because there's somebody who is still.
Caught the short end of the stick of that.
And
few people
it make me think, is there necessarily a general right or a general wrong? I know where I stand and I know what my morale is. And I try to involve myself around those people as much as possible. But at the end of the day, we do have to understand people gonna always do what's best for them.
There's a general right and a general wrong. People just choose not to abide by it. But there's a general right and a general wrong. And the way you just dictate that, if you make everyone faceless and nameless, right? Nameless, faceless, right? If you make everyone faceless and nameless and you just look at person A, person A did this to person B. Person B then benefited this, or this will happen to person B after that. Who was wrong or right? And no emotional connection, no social status. We will be able to clearly define right from wrong, and most people will have the same answers. Okay, if person A gets up and slaps person B in the face, and say person B didn't do anything, who's wrong? But like, yo, person A is wrong. Okay, but if now person A is a woman and person B is a big gigantic guy who looks like he just got out of jail, got all these tattoos, and looks like he's a murderer and gets slapped, people may have a skewed perception now. What did he do? What did he do to be slapped?
It's crazy when I think about artists or music and people making mistakes or things like that or doing certain things. It's crazy, not crazy, but it's interesting to think that if someone could make a positive impact in your life, however, right, it doesn't allow you to see all their flaws all the time.
Yep.
So the Jay-Z and the Diddy thing that we're talking about is like their names are attached to so many good memories in our lives due to the music that they make, right? Like So when you play that Diddy and Mace, you know what I mean, you can't help but you want to bop, you want to move. You know what I mean? So when it's hard. It's hard,
You
bro.
be like, hey, Diddy hard,
Hey,
though.
he
Like,
hard. When they play that, whatever song it is, right? It allows us to connect back to a special time in our lives that was fun for us or that inspired us. So it kind of just taints our vision a little bit when we're looking at them when they make a mistake. It's like, they made a mistake, but I mean, at the end of the day, they're like,
Yep.
this is my go-to though.
Yep.
So that's the music make it very hard because we've had this conversation about Michael Jackson in the past about separating the artist from
the man.
you know what I mean? So it becomes difficult in that sense when our memories are connected to some of the greatest things that they've created.
Yeah.
It makes it hard for us to choose a side when they've made mistakes in the public eye.
Yeah. You know what else makes it hard is the social acceptance. And once somebody becomes popular, right, we want to sense that inclusion. So it'd be hard to reject somebody that everyone else likes.
Sound like you hating.
You're afraid to sound like you're hating. Yes, it's because you in your head you're like, this guy's wrong, but I don't want to feel like I'm hating, even though I have sound logic that tells me, and everyone can look at it and say, yo, this guy's wrong, or I kind of don't. But you just don't want to experience that fear of missing out or fear of not being included or being different. That makes it hard as well. So, and it's extremely hard to go against just like people that our culture have deemed leaders, because we don't have enough examples of it, right? There's only a few black men that, there's like 5 black men. It was like, yo, these are the guys. Are the finance guys? We don't know them.
Yep.
Are the doctors? We don't know them.
The lawyers?
We don't know. We know Johnny Cochran, but we don't know that.
That's crazy.
But I've never met someone that said, I want to be Johnny Cochran in my life.
We know a guy.
I've never heard somebody say that. I may know somebody, but I just never heard somebody say that. You understand? So these are the things that, like, there's certain people that's just like, yo, like, these guys are untouchable because everybody wants to be them. Like the conversation of, hey, would you take $500,000 or a dinner with Jay-Z? That's a thing.
Yep.
Like, why is that even a thing? Why is that even a thing? What would you do?
What would I do? Take 500 to meet with Jay? 500,000? Dude, I'm taking 500,000.
That's the thing.
I'm not meeting with Jay.
I'm not meeting with nobody.
I'm not meeting with Jay. Hey, I'm going to grab my.
You understand what I'm saying?
I'm not
So
meeting with
that's the
nobody.
thing, though. So in what world is it logical enough? Is logical to say, yo, I'm gonna bypass this 500,000 because somehow I'm convinced that meeting with Jay-Z is gonna yield me some type of outcome.
Yeah, I mean, $10,000. We're gonna have to question it. I'm not 500,000. I guess life-changing position for my family.
Come on now.
So yeah, man.
Come on. A conversation with Jay-Z. I got to build a relationship for something to happen.
Yeah, and
Talk
like,
about a conversation.
like
man.
not trying to be funny. If hip hop was drowning, right? Hip hop was drowning. It was an ocean drowning, and I had Jay-Z, Drake, Tupac, and Kanye to save it. I'm sending Kanye in there. I know Kanye can produce. I know he can engineer. I know he can do everything. I'm not sending Jay-Z. I say that to say Jay-Z is not a creator. Jay-Z knows how to get good people around him. So if I'm not presenting the value that he needs off the rip, we not being able to do nothing. Kanye can make anything sound good. Kanye can make anybody whatever he wants.
So you saying you'll take a meeting with Kanye?
I'm saying the thought will be there more than with Jay-Z, because when we look at who has discovered talent, Kanye discovers and creates talent. We've seen that. He's proved that. It's in his arsenal. He sees, hey, yo, you know what? This guy's going to be the next great one. He do that, and he discover. He brings them in. Jay-Z's not doing that. That's not his MO. That's not his MO. I think Jay-Z is great for putting the right people around him that's going to do the right things for him. think that's what his superpower is.
Hella random, but if the deal was on the table to take 500 or meet with Dame Dash,
I don't want to hear him yelling all the time. Take 500. There's, bruh, somebody.
And there's nothing disrespectful about that.
nothing.
There's nothing disrespectful about
Nothing.
that. It's just
There's, bro, they can say me with Obama. I'm gonna take the 500. There's nobody, and literally, I'm not even be all jokes aside. The only way I'm passing up the 500 is like, hey yo, you want to meet with Jesus? Cool. I will take that. I'm not taking 500 over no human walking the earth that's putting their pants on one leg at a time. Mm-hmm. You're crazy. My dad is still alive. You think he would be okay with me doing that? No way. There's nobody who has that much influence over me to say I'm gonna pass up this 500K to have a conversation that I don't know what's gonna happen. Is there anybody like, bro? Bill Gates could ask.
All right, I got it. Speaking of questions, I got a random question. If you could sit down with Joe Biden right now, what's one question you would ask him?
Oh, that's good.
I will ask him a question for my fiance. I would say, can you forgive her student loans?
That's good.
That's actually.
I would say, yo, can you
really
forgive
good.
all of her student loans? Yo, please.
Does the president really have that power?
He can. I mean, he put it forward before, and it was all good. He put it forward before. It was all good. Signed up for it and everything, and then they just didn't. They didn't do the next level of it.
I feel like they just launched something like they maybe put out like a first wave like probably a week ago. I saw something, but you know that's not going to everybody. Everybody don't get that. Some people get it. There's no way they can give it to everybody.
Yeah, it's a couple of stipulations. That's
There's
on
no way.
there.
There's no way. Lose too much money. People are banking on that. Schools is banking on that. Nah, they gonna get that money.
It's crazy. You said it's too much money, and I'm thinking about the government actually giving money out. I've always been curious about like how the government gives out money when we're like trillions of dollars in debt.
Yeah, but to think about the money they give people, it ain't 100,000s.
No, but what I'm saying is like
Where's the money coming from?
So that just let me know like when I think about it, like they just be printing shit.
Yeah,
That's what causes the problem.
They just be printing money, bro.
Yeah, that's what causes inflation. That's why the more money you have out there, the higher things have to go on price. So it's like
to get it back.
Yeah, it's like a bubble that eventually has to burst. So that's why when you go into a recession, the recession balances everything out. So every so often we have to go through a super hard financial economic hardship.
Mm-hmm. Did you vote for Biden?
Stay out of my business.
I didn't vote. I'm cool with that.
You cool with not voting?
No, I'm cool with y'all knowing I ain't vote.
You're not cool with not
I'm cool with people knowing I ain't vote. Like, yeah, I'm cool with that.
By choice.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Is voting important to you?
Becoming more knowledgeable about voting is important,
but not voting?
I'm not going to say it's not important. It's important. It's important. I know it's important. I don't think I've educated myself enough. I think that's it.
Yeah.
To be confident in, like, yo, I know who I'm voting for.
I feel the same, bro. I feel like every time voting comes around and the ballots and stuff like that, there's these obviously multiple names on ballots, and I'm always just confused of like, where do people hear about these people in general? Like, if you're not someone that's big into politics, you're not following politics month to month, day to day, like someone like myself, like, how do you get versed on these people that are on the ballots? That's always been the most confusing thing for me. And so in the past, I've been like yourself, where I've been like, I'm just not going to vote. Just because like I don't feel educated enough to vote, and I don't feel like I should just go in there and just aimlessly put a scratch a name on a ballot. You know what I mean? Just for the sake of voting. But I also feel like the pressure from my dad, because my dad always like raised me to believe that like my vote matters. You know what I mean? And like every vote counts.
Do you believe your vote matters?
I don't though. I don't. Despite what my dad has tried to make me believe. Or
Then why you vote?
I don't know. I've never felt like, it's so sad, bro. I voted twice in my entire life. I have voted twice, and I am actually,
One was Obama.
you know that.
I mean, you were only eligible to vote 3 times so far.
So it's not that bad.
Yeah. And you're talking about for the presidential race. You're talking about the every 4. You're not talking about any
Sorry.
local thing.
Nah.
Do you vote locally?
But I guess we're having 2 different conversations because that's what I was talking about, right? In terms of like not knowing who's on the ballot locally, like it's like it'd be hard for me to figure out that information. Now, obviously, I could do more due diligence by looking through the election paperwork that they send to the House. I haven't done the homework. You know what I mean? So sadly, and shamefully, most of the times I don't get a vote off just because I just don't know, and I don't feel like if I do vote, I still don't feel like my voice is heard. Sometimes, and this could be like conditioning or just listening to things that you hear, but I feel like, man, sometimes they be suppressing the black vote. That's just like how I feel. You know what I mean? I don't feel like all the votes are necessarily seen. Sometimes you can see even in the last election with Trump, it seemed like, they were running game with the ballots. You know what I mean? So, which that's he say, she say, So, but I do know that my vote matters, but I don't believe that it matters, if that makes any sense.
Okay. So you don't believe it matters, so then you don't vote. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, voting is important.
Yeah.
Especially in your local areas. For your city councilmen, that's very important because you want to get change within first, and then it'll spread out. So, for example, in California, something that we're really, really dealing with that is terrible, I'm sure you guys have seen it on the news, is people running in and out of businesses and stealing, and nothing's happening.
Wow, yeah. I just saw that 2 days ago.
Right?
Yeah.
So they have this, if somebody grabs items and it's less than $950, you cannot legally chase them. That is legislation. That's not decision. So there's people who voted on, hey, yo, and we're talking about California, a very liberal state. Hey, yo, it's very harsh that we're putting people in jail for stealing things that's less than $1,000. Let's not do that. And this is what happens. And people voted on that. So for us who didn't vote, we don't have no say in any of that. Mm-hmm. So any anger that you can have toward that, you have to take off the table. Yeah. Me as a small business owner, somebody could run in my business and snatch everything, and I can't do anything about it because you didn't vote.
Yeah.
We had most recently our city councilman, he came into the shop and we had a conversation and we were talking about what was important to him and something that's important to him and why he's getting my vote, well, why he got my vote this past Super Tuesday is because he supports small businesses, right? He really schooled us and helped us understand that cities grow by small businesses. You ever realize a lot of the cities that are kind of desolate, they're not really doing too well, they don't have an abundance of small businesses in there. You don't see small little boutique shops where you could go and get clothes from or shoes from. You have liquor store and you might have a gun shop.
And a supermarket.
Those cities are typically rundown cities. Mm-hmm. Cities that small businesses flourish are typically better cities. Mm.
Let me ask you a question, because I think that's really dope that the councilman stopped by the shop, came in. I don't know what he stopped by. I don't know if he gets cut there, if he was just in the area.
I went to a meeting, a city council meeting, met him, introduced him, told him what I do. He came to the shop and got cut.
Okay, so I guess that answers the question I have. If you're searching for that information, you have to go to city council meetings. Like,
no. So
like if the council, what's his title?
City councilman.
City councilman. If he doesn't, council member. If he doesn't walk into the space that we're in and drop that knowledge on us, where does one go find that information?
So every single year, I know I get it I've only been living at my place for less than 2 years. You get an official ballot. It's that little white book with the red and blue letters on it.
Yeah,
it's an official ballot. They give you a little bit about every single thing. So whether it's the individual or it's a prop. Props you have to be aware of because yes might mean no sometime and no might mean yes sometime. Mm-hmm. So you have to read through it.
Vote yes for prop.
Yes.
Vote yes. Okay.
Exactly. right? So after you read through it, they then tell you, hey, yo, you can find more information on this, and you'll be able to go to a website.
Yeah.
And you can actually read through it. So like what you said, I got to do my homework. They give you the homework to do. You usually will have to do it. So luckily, like my pops is heavily into politics. So it's just like if you got a mentor in another space, when it comes to politics, I call my dad and I'm like, hey, yo, like what's some of like the hot issues? What's some of the pressing issues that's going on this year? And we are in a space where I feel like in California, you vote on just what's popular. Usually whoever won last year is who people are going to vote for. So the $950 rule is still going to be in effect. I don't want to say the guy's name, but he was winning. He was up in the polls, right? So it looks like more small businesses, because obviously they show Louis Vuitton and, TJ Maxx and, things like that. But small businesses is getting ran into as well. I have a buddy who has a barbershop who just got everything out of their stole. So if 6 people run in there and the total is $4,000, can't do nothing about it. I don't care if you got them on camera. I don't care if you got their face. I don't care if they flipping the bird to the cameras that you got in there. Can't do nothing about it. It is imperative to vote, whether you believe it matters or not. That's very, very similar to Duke saying, yo, I don't cheat on my girl, whether that's what she doing or whether that's what she can do or not. It's not my business to say my vote doesn't count because what I think is going on. They put it in front of you. They say, hey, yo, this vote can make change. Believe that. You got to vote. Like, you got to vote. Like, you got to, especially in the primaries. I'm going to be honest with you. I actually don't even care if you vote for president because we have electoral votes. But your local city officials, you should vote for those for sure. Your local and state, for sure. For sure. And that's not me saying that from like our dad's perspective. That's like me actually being able to see, okay, cool, when you don't vote on this disruption happens. You got a daughter. So like in having a daughter, you truly are voting for her future.
Yeah.
That's really, really, that's super important, especially superintendents and people who are going to dictate what kind of curriculum is going to be in the public schools. That all comes through votes. And it's up to us.
Come on, man. Come on, class.
Yeah. Took me there.
Come on, man.
Shit,
you about to be a council member, nigga.
Hey, you know what? You can get a lot done when you hold those positions, bruh. That's not something that I'm afraid of. You could get a lot done when you hold those positions.
Councilmember Tate.
Councilmember Tate.
Councilmember Tate.
He was getting a lot done. You can get a lot done when you hold those positions.
You just dropped some game on me.
Just dropped some game,
and
dog.
luckily I still got time to vote too.
You do. You do.
I still got time to get my vote in.
And because there's I feel like one thing that I don't think the public system does well enough is let us know that you can vote for other things besides president.
Right.
We just know, oh, it's just a presidential race. Right. And then, you get a little older, I'll say like college age, and you watch CNN and you see all these random names fly by. And then you see, oh, president, there goes. And that's all you wait for. But all those random names are people who are running our country as well. There are people who are running our cities. There are people who are running our states. Those are all, everybody matters. Like everybody matters. So it's like, we get mad at what's happening up here, and we never checked here.
So after the governor, what is it?
After the governor, you have. I don't want to get this wrong.
It doesn't jump straight to the president.
No, you have senators. You have state senators as well.
State senators.
You actually don't even know what's going on unless you start looking into policy. You have no idea what's going on in this world. There's. Everything is by design. Nothing is by accident. And I actually learned, truthfully, the way that they get us all is we look at, I'm not even gonna say the world. We look at our city like this, how we sitting in it. If you take a view and you look up and you looking over the city, that's how you really look at the city. And that's how you look at what people are voting for. So for example, when you are looking at, hey, yo, they're going to gentrify this area. They're not looking at it by looking at the house and looking at the building. They're looking at it above and they be like,
this whole
zone. We're going to take care of this whole zone. Yep. It's going to take it the next 20 years. We look at, okay, how can we do it in the next couple of months? Nah, this whole zone is going to take the next 20 years. These are the things that we need to get approved and pushed through in order to do it. Okay, cool. What does this person believe? Cool. That's the person that we need to get in there to get that done. Okay, that's the person we need to get in there and get that done. We want a city full of small businesses. You know what? We got to get John Lee in there so he could get all the small businesses because we know he's going to approve it. He's going to also make sure they have funding, and he's going to make sure that he could build up this city off of the back of small businesses. Mm-hmm. So all of those things are happening. Now, there is, and this is something I didn't even know as a small business owner, residents don't typically like small businesses in their city. They don't typically like it. They don't fully understand it. They just don't like it, right? So residents are always going to vote against small businesses. Matter of fact, put it like this. The San Diego Chargers lost their team off of the back of residential votes.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So they had this was probably the best deal that they could put together in order to keep the team. They were going through so many different changes, right? They finally agreed, this is what we can do. Let's only create a hotel tax, and the hotel tax will build the new stadium, right? Keep in mind, 75% of Charger season ticket holders were based in LA County. So they didn't even have a say.
Damn.
This is all down there.
Damn.
So they said, we just put a hotel tax on the hotels for people visiting. That's going to be what pays for the stadium. The city voted no against it. They lost their team. Wow. So when I'm talking about votes, voting matters. Mm-hmm. That was, when I seen that, I was like, oh, that's crazy. Granted, when we would go down there, we would see what kind of condition that place was in. Their fans weren't loyal. They didn't really care. But to lose a team in a city when off of votes, off of saying like, hey, like all we got to do it. So you ever see at your house, somebody might come and they like, hey, can you sign your name for this petition?
Yep.
Oh, all of that. That's how props are created. Mm. So when you see on the ballot and it's like, hey, we don't want any sewage from this city to this city, and you sign off on that prop is going to say, yes, on Prop 67. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Prop 67. Cool. No sewage is going to be in there. That's from them looking at the city from above, looking at it and like, okay, cool. We can't have that here for what we're trying to do. Yep. So essentially, by our votes, we're creating a whole new world for our children. Mm-hmm. Just by voting.
Drop some game on us.
Damn. That's what's up, dog.
Drop some game on us.
That's impressive, man.
Man.
I think okay, you know what I just thought about? I think there's a lot of people that don't know about politics that are afraid to say they don't know about politics. And I think people need to be more open about, hey, I really don't know about politics, instead of saying I don't care about politics.
Because it's not that you don't care.
It's not that you don't care. Yeah. It's just that you think that, like, you saying you don't care is your defense mechanism for not knowing. And it's okay to not, I mean, it's not okay to not know.
I've said that before.
It's not okay to not know, but it's okay to say, hey, look, I don't know about this. Yeah. Like, school me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I think more people need to just embrace that fact that they don't know about politics and say it's not something I should care about, because it is something you should care about.
Yeah, I think what makes it tough as well is you don't learn about sports by watching SportsCenter.
Correct.
Like, you could think you know like certain things that's going on, but at the end of the day, all you doing is regurgitating what somebody put in front of you. Mm-hmm. So I used to think that I could watch CNN and get a full understanding of what's going on in politics, when at the end of the day, all you're catching is the highlights. I didn't read the pamphlet.
Yep.
You know what they're talking about.
I don't know what they're talking about.
You know what they're talking about.
So all I'm doing is like, yeah, Trump crazy. Like, so it's like I'm not really diving in to what's actually happening. Why am I calling them crazy? What is this? What actually happened here? And then you're not getting any local news on that. Mm-hmm. On CNN, you're not getting any local news. So you're watching that and you're really just
national news.
You get national news.
Hey, so are there things that Trump does that you agree with?
This boy good. He good. There's things that all politicians do that I agree with.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was real PC.
That was good.
Yeah,
that was nice little.
There's, I mean, I think there's things that all politicians do that we all agree with. Now, where we go with our agreements, as far as like, does that person get our vote? Does that person get our support? That's different.
How you feel about people? Do you feel like we should be more receptive to people that don't align with our political views?
100%.
Or do you feel like, yeah, nah, you believe that, I believe this?
Nah. Everybody's house is different. Everybody's mission is
Okay.
different.
Okay, you keep up with Candace Owens?
Yep.
How you feel about her?
You want me to be completely honest?
Yes.
I'm not mad at Candace, bro. I'm not mad at Candace Owens. I listen to her and she has some very, very hot and fiery takes, and I could see how I could rub somebody wrong. But when I listen to some of the things that she says and how she's literally thinking from this point all the way into accepting what something might not be good in the beginning through, like, looking at it, like, the whole cycle of it. I listen to her and I'm like, she's very intelligent. She's very intelligent. She's very well thought out. She's not a... Matter of fact, I'll say that. Forget speaking about her. I'll speak to me. As I get older, I'm starting to learn that I'm more and more conservative. I'm getting older and older, and I'm getting more and more conservative. I think that I have a liberal side, being born and raised in California, and understanding that I do want progression, but I also understand that there is a space in being conservative and upholding
Conservative values.
Especially when it comes to
Raising kids
and family,
marriage.
I believe in those things. So when I listen to her takes on those things that I believe, she aligns with it. And I don't, but I also don't think anybody is all anything.
Right.
So it's just interesting. I can tell you about plenty of people who I can look at and I'll be like, nah, I enjoyed their take on that one. On that one specifically, I enjoyed their take. How you feel about Candace Owens?
Same way. I couldn't even articulate that. I was watching her earlier this week, but yeah, that's how I feel, man. Because she's intelligent, and when I listen to her, I hear some things that I really agree with. All right. And I think even just a lot of the backlash she's gotten, I can't even really pinpoint where a lot of that comes from if you're not someone with open ears. So if you listen to her with an emotional state, yeah, you probably be triggered by some things because she could be speaking to like your situation and it's not favorable to what you want in the moment. But some of the things she says I align with, right? And to your point, man, like being conservative is like, for me, that's a natural order of things. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can be someone who, it's hard to be someone who is who has enormous pride as a man, and you want to live your life what you consider the right way, morally right, and not be somewhat conservative. I think it's hard. So yeah,
I kind of think that's what helps dictate the path.
Yeah.
In being conservative, not much is going to change. And
it's more black and white.
It's more black and white. This is what it is. This is what's going to look like. Granted, I love that we have such the balance of powers where you have these people who are pulling hard left, like, we need change in everything. We need change in everything. You got these people on the right that's pulling hard right, just like, nah, we need to keep these things the same. My world kind of more so, I don't even want to say the middle. My world kind of is right here. I'm a little bit more conservative than I am liberal, but I know liberalism matters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's when
to the point where it's not destructive.
Yes.
But sometimes people preach the liberal stuff, but it's at the cost of a lot of other things that are good for people. You know what I'm saying? Like family. Mm-hmm. Family's good for people. Right? Like children are good for people. All right? Not like in terms of legacy, lineage, that stuff. It's good for people. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it.
Where do you fall more of? You feel like you fall more on the liberal side?
Liberal.
Progression.
Progression.
All the way through.
All the time.
Okay. So explain what that looks like for you. What it has looked like for you.
being open to change, bro. Being open and accepting, and I guess being a liberalist, right?
Was it libertarian?
Libertarian. Being a libertarian would align with people making their own decisions in terms of, I guess, the LGBTQ community, correct? Right? I align with people being able to evolve into who they truly want to be and being open to making those type of decisions and allowing the community, the state to be accepting of that. I constantly want to push for evolution, even if that means change. And if that means being a libertarian, then so be it.
So, question for you, because this was a hot topic, and it has been for a number of years now. And there's essentially a bathroom situation to where they are pretty much saying that bathrooms there should be a no gender bathroom type of arrangement. And you having children coming up in this world, how would you feel about them coming up in a world where there was no bathroom, no gender was assigned, and everybody could kind of just free flow and move in and maneuver in and out of that?
Yeah, that topic in particular, I'm very firm on. Like, I believe if you are born a woman, you should use the woman's bathroom. And I know that, and I believe if you're born a man, you should use a man's bathroom. And I know that kind of contradicts what I'm saying, because if you decide to make a change and you now identify as a woman, even though you were born a man, you feel like you should use the
Being
woman's.
progressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you're not all the way just liberal then.
Yeah.
Because that is what liberal is. It's like I'm accepting everything.
So yeah.
You know?
So I guess I'm not 100%
You feel me?
on being a libertarian.
And then this is like also what goes into it. Like let's not be as firm with the topics, but like, yo, a liberal person would be okay with his girl proposed to him, right? Would you be okay with that?
No.
Hey, yo, but like, hey, things are different today.
Things are different.
Things are different today. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, conservative is like, hey, like I'm upholding a lot of tradition, regardless of if it's convenient or not. You know what I'm saying? So when you say, yo, you're liberal, it's like you can be conservative and still open to change.
So I guess that's where I will fall then. I will fall in as a not a libertarian, a conservative who is open to change. Because
Yeah, you'd be like a liberal conservative.
that.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. But, I'm glad. I think this is probably the deepest conversation that we've ever had as friends about politics.
Because I
Politics, for sure.
really don't know about this stuff.
Me either,
Right.
bro.
Bro, I'm barely scratching the surface.
And
as
that's
far as
crazy because you
information
felt like
goes.
you was really penetrating. Pause.
But I think with liberal, I just think there's too much fluidity.
I do too. I think again, I think there's a lack of accountability to what you agreed to yesterday in being liberal. So in saying like, okay, cool, we don't do that, and then tomorrow, like, you know what? I feel like that space exists too much in decision making.
Too loosey-goosey.
It's too loosey goosey for me. And for me, like we were talking about, I enjoy black and white, right? I enjoy black and white, but I also do feel like liberals and conservatives should work more together in order to achieve goals. So we don't have to go into it as we close out, but even on the major topic of abortion, like if we could just mix some of this with this, I feel like our solution can be so much stronger rather than it having to be fully this way or fully this way.
Yeah.
And, that's why I would say I can't say I live on either side, but if I had to choose, I will be closer to being on the side of conservatism.
I mean, after I've been schooled, I would say the same now too.
I think so too. I think you would be for sure.
Yeah.
I-
You know what he is.
come on.
Yeah.
Politics, dude. Why is it so uncomfortable? Why is it so
Honestly,
uncomfortable?
So it's like people always say, you don't discuss politics, religion, or your
money.
finances, right? I think because those things really show people what your heart is. Like those things specifically, because if somebody walks in the room, whether it's you, me, or Duke, and they like, hey, yo, you know what? Trump actually just more so aligns with what I'm trying to do for the next 4 years. There's going to be so much scrutiny on you. And you sit back and you look on it and you be like, how is 58% of the country voting for this guy? But every time I say his name, everybody mad at me.
Wow. So you know what I just learned from that is we're not educated enough in the political nuances. We don't know anything about politics. So the only thing that we could grasp is you just like Trump.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Yes.
How can you vote for Trump? But people aren't even educated enough to understand what you're voting for. You're not voting because you like Trump. You're voting because he has policies in place, or he's more likely to put policies in place that benefit you.
Or Biden.
Or Biden.
You know?
Right? And we're not educated enough to understand why someone like you would say that.
We're looking at, Trump's funny. We're looking at Sleepy Joe, and we're just like, nah, man, this sleepy guy can't be our president. But it's like, yo, he's a representation of presidency. It's not just him. Mm-hmm. He's a representation. So everything that he believes and all the policies he already believes are already they're already in the bag. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he's going through, I think we think of presidency as he's going through his day as our day to day. Nah. The mission is already at hand. Mm-hmm. Now it's just like, okay, cool. We got to wait for this date to sign off on this. We got to wait for this date to sign off on this. Cool. We already plan to do this. Like,
wow, this just inspired me to get educated.
The mission is at hand.
Man.
You hire the person who is going to step in to just do the mission that's already at hand.
Yeah.
It's not, the day-to-day decisions, it's not as day-to-day as we feel it is.
Hey, that was, anyway, like I said, man, this shit just inspired me to go get educated. So that's what I'm
Thank you,
motivated to
Jelon.
do. Thank you.
I hope that inspired a bunch of other people.
All right, come November.
And viewing.
Come November.
Yeah. I mean, as adults, it shouldn't be boring to us anymore.
Yeah.
It should be more meaningful.
Yeah.
But I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Be sure to
get out and vote.
Go get educated first.
Yeah.
Go learn about what's going on, and then go make educated decisions. All right. Be sure to make sure that you are subscribed to us on all streaming platforms. Follow us on all social platforms. Drop a comment. Let us know what you thought about the episode. And with that said, much love, much gratitude. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jelon, and this is another episode of Nice and Neat, and that's that. Own that.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old and I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hundreds, pledge allegiance I stand. I'm going to pull forward.